So that's it, my dear students, and now we continue and we will talk about the next part of our grammar. And in this unit I will tell you about possessive pronouns in Russian language. So let's get started. And here you see the whole system of possessive pronouns. I'd like to say that some of our possessive pronouns should be changed. I mean, they have, you see, 4 forms: special form for masculine, for feminine, neutral, and one more form for plural. The forms of the possessive pronouns depend on noun. So, if this noun is masculine, for example, dom, we will choose these forms. If this noun is feminine, like сестра, we will choose another forms. If this noun is neutral, for example, фото, окно, метро, and so on, we will choose another forms. And for nouns in the form of the plural, for example, книги, we will use another forms too. And now I'd like to show you these forms. So, if in English we want to say my, so in Russian we have 4 forms. These forms depend on nouns. My for noun which is masculine will sound like мой. My for feminine nouns, for example, сестра, if you want to say my sister, will sound like моя сестра. For neutral nouns, моё. And for plural, if you want to say, for example, my books, we will say мои. I'd like to remind you one of the most important rule of Russian pronunciation. I mean, if we're talking about the letter O, if the letter O is accented, like in this word, мой, O should be pronounced like O, like the letter in the alphabet, мой. But if this letter is not accented, accent is on another vowel, like in the next forms, or you should read like a. So I will read this line once again, and you please try to repeat after me. So, мой, feminine, моя, not моя, моя, neutral, моё, and plural, мои. It will sound like this. So, if you want to say your, and you're talking to one person, I mean not to a group of people, to one person, it matters. For masculine nouns, you will say твой, дом, for example, your house, твой дом. For feminine, твоя. For neutral nouns, твоё, and for plural, твои. So, again, be careful, please, with these forms. I mean, if O is accented, you should read it like O, твой. For another forms, O is not accented, and you read it like A. Твоя, neutral, твоё, and plural, твои. That's it. And good news, my dear students, about these words, his, her, and its, these forms don't change. So, the form of the possessive pronoun doesn't depend on the gender or form of our noun. Anyway, it will be the same. You will say его. So, his house, его дом, his sister, его сестра, его фото и его книги. It's very easy. You need to memorize only one form. The same situation with this word. Her will sound like ее, and again, it doesn't change. Its, if we're talking about inanimate nouns, for example, will sound again like его. So his and its, you see, these possessive pronouns have the same form. Его and her, ее. So you need to memorize two words, two forms. And for plural, if we're talking about group of people, I mean да. If we want to say our, it will sound like наш, feminine, наша, neutral, наше, and plural наши, наши, наш дом, наша сестра, наше фото и наши книги. They sound a little similar, but try to make any accent on the last letter so we can recognize which form it is. So your, if we're talking to a group of people, will sound like ваш, 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 ваша, ваше, ваши, ваш дом, ваша сестра, ваше фото и ваши книги. These forms we need to memorize. You see, we have 4 different forms and they depend on gender of our noun and they depend on the form of singular or plural. And there, this form will be the same. Ich, ich, ich. So let's make it like a summary. You need to memorize actually only 4 different forms for my, your, our, and your for plural. You need to memorize these forms. I mean, they should be transformed depending on gender of noun. And его, ее, их, they don't change. Just memorize these 3 words.